lesson plan acts as a detailed outline for teachers, specifying what content will be taught, how it will be delivered, and how learning will be measured. So, if you're looking for a lesson plan for Introduction to Decimals, then this video is for you. Hello and welcome to Magnetic Learning. Here's a detailed lesson plan for teaching Introduction to Decimals to grade 4 and 5 students. What the lesson plan includes? Well, let's have a quick look at what it includes. It includes learning objectives, body concept, step-by-step procedure, teaching resources or material needed, previous knowledge, activities involved, assessment ideas, and recapitulation. Now, what are the requirements? What you have to include in your lesson plan? You have to write the grade. You have to mention the grade, 4 or 5, whichever class you are going to write for. Subject, mathematics, duration, depending upon the class or the session you are taking, 45 to 60 minutes duration. Topic, introduction to decimal. Then comes your learning objectives. By the end of the lesson, students will be able to understand what decimals are, relate decimals to fractions. This is connected to previous knowledge, what 10th, 100th and 1000th. Then they will be able to read and write decimal numbers, understand the place value of digits in a decimal number. Now from the normal place value system, they will understand now decimal place value system, decimal number. And now it's real life application where decimal numbers can be seen in real life. Now let's see the format. The format is concept name, learning objectives, date, day, period of the day, introduction, then body, concept, activity, then comes your closure, teaching resources or material needed or teaching aids, you can say, assignment, which is your home assignment that you will be giving after completing your session or your class conducted. And then comes your reflection or follow-up. Reflection and follow-up here means how the class went, what went well or good, or what needs to be improved. That could be mentioned over here. So let's see, or let's begin with the first column, which says concept name and learning objective. Concept name is decimals, which is the introduction part now, and learning objective that we have already discussed in the previous slide. So the learning objectives are understanding what decimals are, relate decimals to fraction, read and write decimals. Children will be able to now read and write decimals, decimal number, and they'll be able to relate to real life application. Then comes your date and day, and then randomly first period is written over here. You'll mention the date, day and period of the day. Then begins your introduction part. How will you introduce your topic? Obviously, the traditional method of introduction is not to be done. You're not going to introduce the topic directly by writing it on the board or by saying it to the children. You have to connect the topic to their previous knowledge and then bring out the topic to the students. Now, how will you do that? To do that, you can begin the class by asking questions, or you can conduct any kind of activity or a quiz or a group activity, and then you can bring out the topic. Now here what is given? Begin the class by asking questions to activate prior knowledge. Now what questions are asked over here? What is the fraction? Children will be answering what fraction is. And then from there, what do you know about 10th and 100th? Then you may lead to asking, have you seen numbers like 0.5 or 0.25 or other numbers you can write on the board? And then you may ask, where have you seen them? Leading to the introduction of the topic decimals. Then you may go to the body and concept of the topic, and that is explanation part, where you can write one decimal number and explain what decimal is. That is, 4 is a whole number part, 0.5 is your fractional number part, and zero point 0.5 is your decimal, and point is your decimal point, which separates your whole number from your fractional part. And then you may lead to the explanation of decimal, and then connect decimals to place value chart, where decimal place value chart is extended towards the right, and then how the decimal place value chart is different from the normal place value chart, where whole number part is towards the left side and fractional part is towards the right side. And then you can relate to the fraction, where denominator is 10, 100, 1000 and so on, and then connect it to decimal fraction by saying 0.1 means 1 by 10, or 0.5 is half. You can also use visual aids like base 10 blocks. You can bring base 10 blocks from your maths lab and bring and then explain students decimal. Then come to closure part. How will you conclude? Here conclusion can be assessment part, where you will see whether children have understood what decimal is. So what will you do? You can give one activity to them, decimal grid coloring. Give students 10 by 10 grids. You can prepare this worksheet from before itself to save time, and give this worksheet to the students and ask to color 0.4, and student will color 40 squares, and like this you can prepare 5-6 questions and give the students to color, which will be a fun activity. At the same time, if you want to assess students on this, you can do your assessment also. Recap. After that, last 5 minutes you can take for recapitulation of whatever is taught by showing a PPT, or you can conduct a quiz also, or you can do some kind of activity also. You can group work also. Whatever you want to plan, you can do on the basis of your own creativity. But here I have shown a PPT. I've written show a PPT on decimals and its real life application. So if you want to see a video on this, then you can refer the video on my channel Magnetic Learning. The link to that will be provided in the description box. So teaching resources, so far as teaching resources are conducted, resources can be your place value chart with decimals that you can either use or draw on the board and represent, or you can use a chart paper for representation, or you can use PPT presentation for representation of that and explanation. Then whiteboard and marker, decimal flashcards can be used for explanation of decimal, like whole number part, fractional part, decimal point. Then you can use fractional strips or base 10 blocks from your maths lab, and printed worksheet for conducting your assessment part or activity. And then you can use your PPT for your closure part or your introduction part. Assignment Home assignment asks students to find out where do we use decimals in real life. Children will go home and will find out where decimals are used in real life, like they will connect to money, like paise and rupees separated from by a decimal point, then measurement 2.5 centimeter, and so on. And the next day they can come and they can bring their information collected, written in their notebook, and that could be shared in the classroom, could be a group activity at the same time. So like this assignment can be given. And then comes your reflection part, where you can write 100% involvement of the class in the activity which was given here, activity 1, and in which made understanding of the concept easy for the students. If something did not go well, then you can write that explanation of like place value system need more explanation, or children need more clarity in that, so that will be explained in the next class. So like that, depending upon your class observation, you can write reflection in this column. Now here are some examples of teaching aids that you can use for the session. Here, flashcards. You can prepare flashcards like this, and then you can use. Then comes your base 10 block. Then you can use fraction strips for your session, and many more creative work you can do to make your class even more interesting, engaged, and make your learning outcome fruitful. So if you have found the session to be interesting and helpful, then please do like, share, and subscribe to my channel, Magnetic Learning. And for more videos like this, you can refer to the links provided in the description box. Until then, keep learning, keep growing.